Have you ever stood in front of your closet and felt completely defeated before your day even started? Have you ever followed a meal plan, shown up to every workout, done everything they told you to do, and still felt like your body was working against you? And what if I told you that the plan you've been following might actually be the reason why you're stuck? Today, we're talking to the woman who is done. Done guessing, done starting over, done feeling like her body is broken and there's nothing she can do about it. If you've tried the classes, cut the calories, pushed through the exhaustion, and you're still not seeing any results, this episode is for you, my friends. We're going to talk about cardio, nutrition, sleep, hormones, and the one root cause that almost nobody's talking about. And I'm going to give you 5 clear steps so you can stop guessing and finally start feeling good in your body again. So grab your coffee and a notebook because today we stop feeling confused. Let's get at it. Welcome to Strength for Generations, the go-to podcast for Christian families who want to build strength, restore energy, and deepen connection with God at the center. I'm Krista Baker, Christian health coach, wife, mom, and co-founder of Baker Family Fitness. I'm here to help you honor God with your health and bring peace back to the process, to simplify what it means to build strength in your body, renew your mind, and care for your spirit, all without losing precious time with your family. So grab your coffee and your ribeye, and let's do this His way. Now, before we dive in, I want to ask you to do something real quick. If this podcast has ever encouraged you, challenged you, or helped you take one step forward in your health, would you take 30 seconds right now to leave a review? I know that sounds like a small thing, but I want to tell you why it actually matters. Every time you leave a review, you're helping another woman just like you find this podcast. A woman who is exhausted and confused and searching for answers at 11 o'clock at night on her phone. Your review could be the thing that leads her here. And I believe that is not an accident. If God is putting someone on your heart right now, a friend, a sister, a woman from your church who you know is struggling, I want to challenge you to share this episode with her today. That's an act of obedience. That is you being the hands and feet of encouragement in her life. Okay, let's get into today's episode. So I want to share something with you before we get into the teaching today. This is not something I learned only from books or certifications. This is something I hear constantly. At the gym, in conversations after church, in my DMs, on phone calls with clients. Women who are doing everything right, or at least everything they were told was right, and still feeling like they're going backwards. I remember talking to a woman not too long ago who told me she was waking up at 5 in the morning, going to her cardio classes 6 days a week, eating 1,200 calories. Does that one sound familiar, ladies? And she had actually gained 8 pounds over 3 months. She was in tears. She's like, Krista, I feel so broken. I feel like my body just does not work anymore. And I had to look her in the eyes and tell her, you are not broken. You have just been given the wrong plan. And that is what breaks my heart because these women, they're not lazy. They're not uncommitted. They're some of the most disciplined, faithful, hardworking women I know. They just need someone to tell them the truth about what their body actually needs. And so that's what we're going to do today. 5 steps, clear, practical, and grounded in how God actually designed your body to work. All right, my friends, step 1. Too much cardio is working against you. I know. You don't want to hear it. It feels like a bit of a gut punch, right? I need you to hear this because it's really important. Cardio is not the enemy. But the way most women are using it is absolutely working against their goals. So let me give you a picture of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the woman who is going to spin class 5 days a week. The one who lives at Orange Theory or F45. The one doing Zumba, boot camp, HIIT classes, kickboxing, bar, swimming laps, or spending 45 minutes on the elliptical every single day. She's moving. She's sweating. She's showing up. And her body is still holding on to the weight. Here's why. When you do high intensity cardio over and over again, especially when you're already stressed and underfueled, your body reads that as a threat. It releases cortisol. Cortisol is your stress hormone. And when cortisol stays elevated day after day, your body starts to hold onto fat, especially around your midsection, as a survival response. So it's not a willpower problem. It's a biology problem. On top of that, chronic cardio without strength training breaks down the muscle tissue instead of building it. And here's the one thing about muscle. Muscle is your metabolism. It is longevity. We all want to live longer and healthier. Well, that's how we do it. The more muscle you have, the more calories your body burns at rest. And when you lose muscle, your metabolism slows down. So the more cardio you do without building muscle, the harder it becomes to lose weight over time. And this is why so many women feel like they're working harder and getting worse results. They are. So what do? You have to pull back on your high-intensity cardio. And don't get mad at me for saying that. It is just the facts. When I get people to just take it back for a little bit and we start doing the other stuff instead, they start to see the results and start to realize, oh, I was killing my body for no reason. All because somebody marketed to me that cardio was the greatest thing on the planet. And I'm telling you guys, I'm not against cardio. We need a strong cardiovascular system that is your heart and lungs. Okay? And I'm not saying you have to never do cardio. I'm saying it should not be the foundation of your fitness plan. 2 to 3 days of strength training needs to become the non-negotiable. Lifting weights, resistance training, building the muscle that will carry your metabolism and your body into the next decade. We're going to talk about this a little bit more when you join the 5-day Move Mountains method. But for now, write this down. Less cardio, more strength. Your body will thank you. All right, my friends, step 2, restricting calories is not a plan. 1,200 calories, I hear this number constantly. And every time I do, my heart is like, okay, we obviously punched something into MyFitnessPal that told us that 1,200 calories, or we were told by a doctor, because I hear that one as well. Usually it's about 800 to 1,200 from medical advice. Somewhere along the way, someone told women that eating less was the answer to everything. And it is one of the most damaging things we have done to women's health. And here's what 1,200 calories actually does to your body. First, it's not enough fuel. For most women, 1,200 calories is below their base metabolic rate, which means it's not even enough to support your basic organ function, let alone your daily activity. Second, when your body does not get enough food, it does not just burn fat, it burns muscle. And we just talked about what happens when you lose muscle. Third, chronic undereating raises cortisol. It disrupts your hormones, it wrecks your sleep, and it tanks your energy. It also creates a restrict and binge cycle that leaves women feeling guilty, ashamed, and out of control around food. That's not a health plan. That's a stress response. So what does your body actually need? It needs enough protein to protect and build muscle. Most women are severely undereating protein. We're talking about aiming for close to your ideal body weight in grams of protein per day. So if you want to weigh 150, you're getting at least 130, 150 grams of protein every day. It needs to be real whole food. It needs to be protein that contains heme iron. And we're going to get into that in a little bit, but we really want to focus on getting real whole food. Don't forget about your fats. We need to support your hormones. Eating enough of the right thing is actually what allows your body to let go of the weight it has been holding on to. So write this down. You cannot starve your way to a strong body. Feed it well, and it will work with you. Okay, my friends, step 3, your sleep is not optional. It is a hormone strategy. I want to ask you something. How is your sleep? And I mean, really. Are you waking up 2 or 3 times in the night and just staring at the ceiling or having to get up to pee? Are you falling asleep fine but waking up exhausted? Are you running on 5 or 6 hours because there's just too much to do? If any of that is you, I need you to understand that your sleep is directly connected to your weight, your cravings, your mood, and your hormones. I've talked to you guys about sleep many, many times. This is our biology. When you do not get enough quality sleep, your body increases ghrelin, that's your hunger hormone, and decreases leptin, that's your fullness hormone. Your body is literally searching for fast energy because it did not get to restore overnight. Poor sleep also raises cortisol, which we already talked about, and cortisol drives fat storage. It suppresses growth hormone, which is what helps your body repair muscle and burn fat while you sleep. And for women in perimenopause, Disturbed sleep is one of the biggest triggers for hormonal chaos. So if you're doing everything else right and your sleep is broken, you're fighting an uphill battle every single day. So what can you do right now? Let's start with your sleep environment. Cool, dark, and quiet. No screens at least 30 minutes before bed. I mean, studies show 2 hours, but let's just start with 30 minutes, especially if we're staring at our screen and then rolling over and going to bed. It just gives us a place to start, and then we'll just tack on later when we get into that habit. But a consistent bedtime is really important, even on the weekends. And we're going to talk about the deeper hormonal root of why sleep gets so disrupted in a moment. Protecting your sleep is one of the most powerful health decisions you can make. Not being lazy. This is our strategy, my friends. And my kids made fun of me last night because it was like 8:30 and I was ready to go to bed. And they're like, "Are you really going to bed right now?" I'm like, "Yep, I'll see you at 5 a.m. Okay, step 4. Hormone chaos is real and it has a root. Can we just take a moment and acknowledge something? The hormone conversation is everywhere right now. Maybe it's whatever's coming in my feed or just the age of the women that come and share what's going on in their lives. Perimenopause, estrogen dominance, progesterone dropping, cortisol through the roof, sluggish thyroid. Women are trying to piece it all together from Instagram posts and podcasts and their doctor's appointments. And, remember, those doctor's appointments last about 11 minutes. So first, I want to share with you guys, you're not crazy. What you're feeling is real. The weight that seems to appear out of nowhere, like what the heck is happening right now? The mood shifts, the brain fog, the exhaustion that sleep does not fix, the feeling that your body just changed the rules without even telling you. That is very real and it is hormonal. But here's what I want you to understand. Your hormones do not operate in isolation. They talk to each other. When cortisol goes up from the stress and under eating and over exercising, it suppresses your progesterone. When progesterone drops, estrogen becomes dominant. Estrogen dominance drives weight gain, bloating, mood swings, and sleep disruption. When thyroid function slows down, your metabolism slows with it. It's all connected. And trying to fix one piece without looking at the whole picture is why so many women feel like nothing works. But here's the hope. When you start addressing the foundations, the food, the training, the sleep, the stress, your hormones begin to regulate. Your body wants to be in balance. That's what it's designed to do. You just have to stop doing the things that are pulling it out of balance. And that brings us into the piece that almost nobody is talking about. And I know because I talk to my colleagues all the time. Step 5, guys, iron dysregulation is the missing piece nobody is talking about. I want to talk to you about this. I believe this is the root of so much of what women are experiencing, iron dysregulation. Now, stay with me because this could be the thing that finally makes everything click for you. Let me ask you something. Do you feel exhausted even after a full night of sleep? Do you feel anxious or wired, but completely depleted at the same time? Do you have heavy periods, painful periods, or cycles that feel completely unpredictable? Do you deal with brain fog that makes you feel like you cannot think clearly no matter how much rest you get? Do you have hair thinning, brittle nails, or skin that just looks dull and tired? Do you feel cold all the time or notice that your body temperature just seems off? Do you feel heart palpitations or a racing heart even when you're just sitting still? If you're nodding your head right now, I want you to know that these are not random symptoms. Those are your body waving a flag. And iron dysregulation may be at the root of all of it. Here's what's happening inside your body. When iron is not being properly regulated, it does not just disappear. It gets stored in the wrong places. So instead of being transported into your cells where it can be used for energy production, it gets deposited into organs and tissues where it does not belong, like your liver or your heart or your joints. For me, it was like big time liver, definitely in my ovaries, my chest, my hypoxia. So in my lungs, I felt it. And when iron is sitting in the wrong places, your cells are starving for it, even though your blood test might show a normal number. This is why so many women are told their labs look fine, but they feel absolutely terrible. Your body's not lying to you. The standard lab panel is just not telling the whole story. Now, here's where this connects directly to your cycles and your hormones. For women in perimenopause or dealing with irregular cycles, heavy bleeding is one of the biggest drivers of iron loss. And when you're losing iron faster than you can replace it, everything suffers. Your energy crashes, your mood becomes impossible to regulate, your sleep falls apart, your cycle gets heavier and more painful, and your body starts pulling resources from everywhere it can just to keep you functioning. So guys, this is not a willpower issue. It's a resource issue. Your body is running out of what it needs to do its job. And here's something I want you to sit with for a moment. If you are in perimenopause or your cycles have become heavier and more irregular, your iron needs are actually increasing at the exact same time your body is becoming less efficient at absorbing and using it. That is a perfect storm. And it explains why so many women feel like they fell off a cliff in their late 30s and 40s with no clear reason why. So what do you actually do about this? Well, first we need to get a full iron panel, not just basic ferritin check. How many women come to me and they're like, yeah, my ferritin's fine, or my ferritin is so low and all they want to do is just give me an iron transfusion. Well, if that's the case, then they're just loading you up where it's already stored in the wrong organ, and it's going to make you feel temporary relief. But trust me, you're going to be back in that clinic a couple months later. You want to see serum iron, TIBC, transferrin saturation, and ferritin all together so you can see the full picture of what's actually happening. Secondly, and this is really important, I want you to focus on getting your iron from heme iron sources. Heme iron is the form of iron that your body absorbs and uses most efficiently. You find heme iron in red meat like beef, bison, and lamb. You'll find it in organ meats like liver, which I'm not really a big fan of the taste of liver. Other ways to get it: in your dark meat, sardines, other fatty fish. These are the sources your body was designed to absorb and actually put to work. So if you've been relying primarily on plant-based iron sources like spinach, lentils, beans, and fortified cereals, I'm going to say this to you with grace and not coming at you. There's no guilt here. Non-heme iron from plant sources is significantly harder for your body to absorb. And if you're already dealing with iron dysregulation and hormonal disruption, which honestly, most of us are, and most of us have been since we were little girls, and our little girls are also suffering too, those sources alone may not be enough to move the needle for you. And I'm not saying that you need to overhaul everything overnight. It means that we need to start intentionally prioritizing heme iron-rich foods and pulling down on fortified fake food, basically. If God didn't make it, let's just take a break. Then we also need to make sure we are working with someone who understands the full picture. Someone who understands how iron dysregulation, your cycle, your hormones, your energy, and your metabolism all connect together. Not someone who looks at one lab value and tells you you're fine. We need to find someone who will sit with the complexity of what you're experiencing and help you find real answers. If you do not have someone like that in your corner right now, please reach out to me. I will personally connect you with someone who understands this on a deep level. Whether that is me or one of the doctors that I work with, this is like the most important piece. I love getting people moving. I love teaching them about how to get strong, how to build physical strength. It's the most powerful thing we can do because from there, all the other areas start to get better. I love teaching about food and nutrition and mindset and what God says about us, about how we are made, and actually finding real answers and not just this random mismatch of, I'm just going to go do Pilates tonight. That's not enough. I'm sorry, it's not enough. And when it comes to the lab reviews, we have to find the right person because I know for a fact not everybody is skilled or as knowledgeable in this area because I've worked with them before. I've learned from them before. And I've never experienced anything like this in my life, and I'm going to keep shouting it from the mountaintops. You shouldn't have to keep guessing. You shouldn't have to navigate this alone. So I want you to write this down. If you feel broken and your labs look normal, push deeper. Ask better questions. Find someone who will sit with you in the complexity of this and help you find real answers. Your body is not failing you. It is asking for the right kind of help. Okay, let's bring this all together because I gave you a lot today and I want it to land. You're not broken. You have just been given an incomplete plan. So here are your 5 steps one more time. Step 1, pull back on chronic cardio and start building your foundation in strength training. Step 2, stop restricting your calories and start fueling your body with enough protein and real whole food. Step 3, protect your sleep. Step 4, understand that your hormone chaos is real, it is connected, and it responds to the foundations you build. Step 5, dig deeper into iron dysregulation because it may be the missing piece that finally makes everything make sense. These 5 things together are not a quick fix. These things take time to develop. That's why when I personally work with anyone, we do 6 months. But this is a real plan. A real plan is exactly what you've been missing. All right, my friends, if today's episode resonated with you and you're ready to stop guessing and actually start moving forward, I want to invite you to join my free 5-day Move Mountains Method training. It is 5 days of clear, simple, faith-grounded guidance on how to build the foundation your body needs. And you can find it at bakerfamilyfitness.com/movemountains. I'll also have the link in the show notes so it's easy for you to find. And hey, if God put someone on your heart during this episode, don't ignore that nudge. Share this episode with her today or him. Maybe you have a husband and his wife is struggling. Like, men need to hear this message too because women are suffering in silence and some of their husbands don't even know what's going on. That 5-second act of obedience might be exactly what she needs to hear today. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I'm so proud of you for showing up and doing the work of learning how to care for your body that God gave you. Until next time, my friends, keep building strength for generations. Thanks for tuning in to Strength for Generations. If this podcast encouraged you, it would be a blessing if you took a quick minute to leave a 5-star review. It helps more families hear this message and find hope for their health and faith journey. It lights me up to know this podcast is helping you. And if you feel led to share this episode, text it to a friend, post it to your stories, or send it to someone on your heart. God might use it to encourage someone who really needs it today. And don't forget to eat steaks, lift weights, love Jesus, and keep doing it His way.